And we have yet another car show. This one is the Oswestry show. We've just arrived and the cars are all diving into the circle. Well, a few of them are anyway. And sometimes you get a little bit of a chat about the cars when you're at this this show. Old Volvo there. Nice hum on that, wasn't there? Little 04 popular in the UK in the 50s. Clwyd. Don't even know that one myself. Ah, okay, it's an Alpha apparently. Capri 1600, is it? They usually do a little circuit of this place, perhaps a couple that goes around, and then eventually they start to park up and the drivers stand by the cars and they give you a little bit of a rundown as to where they got the car from and what have you, if they've built it themselves from scrap or bought it as a concourse model. Coming back round again to get a bit of zoom on this. I think that's about the max zoom I can get, unfortunately.
Right, come on ladies, come on James, cars round.
There we go. Chaps moving them over now into the centre. I love the sound of some of these cars. I know this MG Magnet, I know the driver. That's the black one that's coming up in a sec. That's a Triumph Stag. There's the Magnet. That gentleman knows how to look after his cars. He doesn't half work hard on them, he's got a few. He used to run the car show here for a while. I think he's retired from it in recent years. And then he is 80 now. Okay, I'll shut up in a minute and let the chaps do the talking.
There we are, keep them coming.
That's a man after my own heart, look. That little old Morris or Austin, whichever one it is. They both look the same to me. Work in progress. Morris it is. Good grief, there's an old Rolls-Royce or something over there. I've not seen that one here before. And there's an American car. You don't get American cars much at this show. And would you believe it, there's two. There's a Galaxy, I think, over there. Looks like a Galaxy anyway. it's an,
There we are, keep on bringing
it's an
them round.
Alvis, I think, not a roller.
We're starting a new line-up.
I wonder who's going to win the show this time. There is a cup, so there'll be a bit of competition. That's beautiful, that white car. I don't know what it is. Maybe some of the American viewers will know. That's gorgeous. Let's get this on stilts for a sec.
Yeah, keep it coming round.
I think that's a Galaxy. The front looks Galaxy, the back looks later Galaxy, I think, than my dad had, because his had more fins. That's probably a 64, 65 or something.
Yeah, nice old Rolls Royce coming in now as well.
I'm going to guess at a 64. Look at this little beauty here. Oh, the fella's in the way. Look how tiny that is compared to the Rolls Royce next to it. Little tiny Austin 7. Pretty sure that's an Alvis as well.
Right, Dave, we've got a nice line-up of cars here this morning. Weather's a bit better than yesterday. Not a lot, but at least it's dry and it's holding out. Good morning to you, sir. And what do we have here? Oswestry Showground, 1937.
Yeah,
I got it from 1961.
do you want to go in now?
No, that's 411. 411. So how much of that was in new money? Well, 25 pence, isn't it? 25 pence. 25 pence, and now we're paying best part of £1.80 a litre, aren't we? Yes. So it cost me £4
£92.
So £150 for the tank, is it? So where's it all gone wrong? Who's making the money? It's certainly not us, is it? No, not us. No. So what's engines in this? Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, it's Alvis made everything themselves, engines, gearboxes. It's a 2362 cc, 3 SU carburetors, synchronous gearbox.
Your mum went and said you'd got this later on, so you
So not bad for 1930.
went down. You had to sit
He's a well advanced car in his time, really.
Yes, he was, yes. Crossing Elvis body. They always built like a different body, you know.
I like to do like a coach built body on top.
Yes.
Simon's calling us.
It's known as the silver pen.
Well, I met somebody from the works who used to work on these cars, and he said, oh, we call those the silver pests. I think the engine's a bit difficult to sort of work on and get at. You know.
So a bit temperamental, bit of a pain to work on.
A bit like, you know, better say.
I would hold you tongue now, I would, yeah. Otherwise I think you're going to slap me. Thank you very much.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, the other thing about the cars of this period, what we can see it on the next one, of course, is the bonnet motif and how these came into being. Really stemmed back to the steam engines and things like that. But originally, where the radiator was, there was just a vulgar filler cap. And everybody thought that this is rather vulgar, so therefore all of these came into existence, and that of course is how we got the Silver Lady that we have today. But of course we have to have them now that they retract, for health and safety reasons, but this is a marvellous example, and the size of the headlights, I mean, it's quite inspiring, isn't it? Our gentleman there with the little Austin, he's disappeared, and something here usually telling you that with a Q registration, it can be a self-build vehicle, a kit car, and then you obviously get a donor vehicle in order to build it up. But the couple here, the gentleman's going to stand up for us. He'll tell you exactly what's what.
If you're looking for it, just round the corner, there's a big green tent thing. You'll see it like that's where his car's by there, his magnet black one. Yeah, so Mike, do you want to just have a quick look there? May as well stretch our legs. I know you're car man, aren't you?
We used this a lot at one time, but how we're going now with the price of petrol, I don't know. Is it a kit car? They were a purpose-made car. I actually built this one, but the company actually preferred you to buy it as a complete car. Right, okay. A company called YKC in Yorkshire, Alvington, Yorkshire. Okay. It is a cousin of Marlin Cars. Oh, right, okay, yes. Yeah, YKC took over manufacturing rights to Marlin when they were having problems. And they updated the car to run on Sierra running gear. But the chassis, body, everything is all purpose-made. It's not borrowed from something else, it is actually... So it's all purposely made designed for this car? Yeah. So it's not like a bit of a bit of... No. Just Sierra brakes, Ford engine, and then Ava adjustable suspension, even suspension components are all purpose made for this. Yeah. Right. So any spare parts, you get the lathe out and the weld and get busy. So have you built it from scratch? I built this one from scratch, yeah. So how long was it like to take to build? Haven't finished it yet. Oh, you haven't finished? There's an ongoing project. Yeah. So I know where have you come from today? Blockage, sort of the end of the M54. Yeah, that's right, yeah. You had a good run this morning? Yeah, not bad. Brilliant. Brilliant. I know you support the show every year. Try to. You do. 3 years ago, isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Nice to see you back again. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again. Yeah, it's lovely. And one of the trade stands over there, if you want any of the old AA badges or anything like that, I know they're on sale over there.
There we are. Right, moving on. I'll be back soon in a minute, Paul. We interviewed this chap yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, we did. He's brought it for us to see. It's in need of a lot of love and attention, but did he tell us it had only done about 2 miles in the last 20 years? It had been a lady's car where she'd hit a bollard and had a problem, and she parked it up in the garage, and it did about 2 miles, and inside is absolutely immaculate. So whilst it might look shoddy on the outside, but he's intending to do a full rebuild. But the good thing about this vehicle is the chrome work is very good. So in the main it'll be the body work. But they were always known for rust.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's like what a lot of people like these days, like the original pattern, isn't it?
Yeah.
But all original, hasn't been touched. Just looking through the windscreen here, since 2004, there's 20,000 miles on the clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
there you go.
As in condition, basically it's a barn find, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And once again, if you've got one, you see the old AA membership. We don't see many of those. I think the only place I can think of seeing an AA phone box now is at Devil's Bridge when I go down to Aberystwyth. But you don't see them around on the side of the road now.
I know we interviewed this chap yesterday, another modern classic. Good afternoon, how are we doing? Very good. Can you tell these, obviously got new ladies and gents in the stand today.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your car, please?
Yeah, I bought the car in 2017 and completely restored it. And took it to the National Vauxhall Show in 2019 and won car of the show. To my surprise,
right? Yeah.
And that was good. And I got to keep the cup for 2 years because of the COVID.
So you're proud of the cup for 2 years?
Yes, I was.
So obviously all the body has it been resprayed?
I need parts of it.
Right, okay.
A lot of it's original, but I have done parts.
But you've had engine and gearbox out,
Yeah.
all the underneath suspension's been done.
Painted all underneath myself and done all every nut and bolt.
Yeah, as we said yesterday, ladies and gents, not all cars have to be classics. The likes of these cars, and now, because you don't see many on the road, they are future classics. You know, they're our future. It's what was appearing in our time as we were growing up, or that was our first car. So, no, it's in very good condition. Thanks for bringing it along.
Thank you very much, yes. Yeah, and with some of these restorations, the older vehicles, they actually strip them back, and I'm sure you're all aware, ladies and gentlemen, but they send them away and they have them dipped in acid. They go to those sort of lengths, but there's quite a lot of enthusiasts. They don't like the acid dip because apparently the acid stays in the seams and years down the line can cause problems, but it depends how far you want to go and how much money you want to spend. Right, now then, it's saying 4-wheel drive on the side of this. Doesn't look like a 4-wheel drive, but you never know what it might be.
Good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Very well, thanks.
Very good. And you is it Subaru Justin, is it?
Yes. My wife bought it brand new in 1990. It's a 1989 model. It's the first shipment of these cars into the country, the Mark II. And it's been with us ever since, and it's in total original condition. Yeah.
So you've had it since what? So it's been like
Since 1990, it was bought.
So it's 32-year-old now?
Yeah,
that's right. And it's done what, 50,000?
And it's done 51,000.
And I bet you haven't had to do a lot of work to this, apart from
No.
sort of cleaning and polishing.
Only clean and polishing, nothing else.
Again, you don't see these on the road anymore, do
There's
you?
hardly any left at all.
No. So I bet
Hardly
you-
any left at all.
So looking for parts for these now, I bet they're quite hard
Difficult.
to find. I bet they
Very
are.
difficult now to get parts for this
So
car.
the likes of like Minis and Fords and other cars, MGs, from back to 60s and 70s, where the parts are plentiful, you get something like this,
No.
it's quite unique.
You've got to search.
You have, of course
You've got to
you
search,
have,
yeah. I collect as many parts as I can when I see them, even though I don't want them. I buy them anyway.
No, that's right.
Because I'll probably need them one day.
So is it permanent 4-wheel drive?
No, it's as and when. It can be put into 4-wheel drive as you're driving normally on the road. You can change it to 4-wheel drive as long as the wheels are in a straight line, and take it out of 4-wheel drive when you're driving normally.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But it's got the same grip in mud as a Land Rover. It's
I've
surprising
read it
Land
has,
Rover.
and it's nice and light as well.
And it's like it doesn't drop sink in the down.
No, right. That's
It's
great.
strong point is its traction. It's excellent traction. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it along.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You've seen the Volvo yesterday. Thank you for bringing it along.
yeah, and ST1 on the television, of course, the Saint Simon Templar, and this gentleman, he just brings it to showgrounds, hence the registration. And it's a lovely example. He actually went down to buy it off a person who was in a group, and the message was left at home for him to come and collect the vehicle, and they said there was a message from the BBC in London, and he couldn't believe it. He thought somebody was pulling his leg. So, and it's in marvellous condition, marvellous condition. Right, we'll better have a word with this very important gentleman.
There we are, we've got the membership secretary, Gordon Davis.
Hello everybody. 1957 MG Magnet. It started life as a manumatic, which had an attempt at an automatic gearbox, which wasn't successful at all, and it's now got a manual gearbox in. I've had it getting on for 20 years, and like everything else, they're never on the doorstep. It was down in Maidstone in Kent that we had to go for it. So there we are.
So you had to travel a fair way for it.
You're right.
Have you done a lot of work to guns since you've owned it? Done a lot of work? Much restoration needed?
No, it's pretty good really. Bit of mechanics here and there, and gearbox swaps and stuff like that.
Yeah, the general maintenance of any car.
Yeah, but that's a nuisance because you got to take the box and the engine out in one go.
So you got to take the engine and gearbox out in one go just to replace the clutch.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It is.
Yeah. So not as easy, I suppose it has to come out from underneath or from underneath the bonnet.
Yeah, and all that to come
It
out.
comes all out forward
Yeah.
as one unit.
And I tried it, just taking the engine, but
It doesn't work.
for half an inch you don't have to go back.
Right.
There we are.
Pain. Gordon, thanks ever so much. Thank you, thank you. We're going to go for the stag.
Yes, yeah, we're going to have a word at our Triumph Herald, ladies and gentlemen. Something different about that, of course, is when you come, Gordon there saying on that vehicle that you have to get the engine and gearbox out. Well, that's made easy by the fact that you lift the bonnet up from the back. But of course, the Triumph Herald, they always went forward.
So you got wings and bonnet
all in one, and
then the catches on the side here, one each side.
That's it.
That engine forward.
Yeah.
So you get closer to the engine. You've got no wings, have you, to work across?
And what I was saying to those who were in the stand before about security, I've never actually seen that before on it.
A little lock on the side.
A little lock on the side, because they used to have twin SUs on it, and I've known of people say, "Oh, I need a part off this" many years ago, and that's what they do. Yeah, which you shouldn't have done, but there you go.
Thank you for bringing it along. Thank you.
Right, our stag, he can tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, afternoon. It's an early stag, Mark 1. They started producing stags in June 1970, and this was about a fortnight after they started production. This one rolled off the line. So it should really be an H registration, but it got taken out of production and used as a trial car for the engineering department, and eventually got registered in August, so it's actually a J plate. So it came from Scotland. I had it about 2.5 years ago. Drove it back from Scotland, which was slightly foolhardy in December, and an interesting introduction to classic car motoring. So yeah, it's got the Stag Triumph V8 engine, 3 litre, although it did have a 2.5 6-cylinder put in it sometime in the 80s before it got converted back, which was common practice in those days.
So it was built with a V8 in it?
Built with a V8 in it.
Somebody put a 6-cylinder in?
And then because of the reliability problems that the cars had a reputation for, which was down to quality control really and production.
Right, okay.
And a lot of the engines, they looked at cheap alternatives. The common ones were the Rover V8s.
Yeah, that's right.
6 Triumphs.
Yeah.
So this one had a straight 6 Triumph drop
engine in it, right, okay.
And then an enthusiast up in Scotland decided it was worth saving because it was in a bit of a mess all over. It would have been a very early one, and put the V8 back in.
Put the V8 back in, and the 3 litres, so not a 3.5 like the Rovers.
It's a 3 litre.
It's a 3 litre one, right, okay.
145, 148 brake.
Right, okay, yeah. And so, for maintenance-wise, parts for engines easy to come by?
Absolutely incredible. Everything's available for them. Body parts. The only things that are difficult to come by are some bits of trim.
Right,
there's specialists, one in Chester in particular. And you can get anything, points, condensers, plugs, whatever you need.
General run-of-the-mill servicing parts, yeah. Did you say it's like the unique little switches and handles and knobs and whatever?
Even a lot of those are available now. They're made in China.
Right, okay.
So the quality is maybe not as good.
Not as good. A good copy, but not as good, not as the original quality.
Yeah, and Lucas now is a Chinese make, and a lot of them are coming branded as Lucas.
They do, but it's not as good as it was, is it?
You can still get them here.
You can, yes. It's branded Lucas, but it's not like the old-fashioned Lucas like we used to buy in the orange boxes years ago. That's right.
So,
no, very good. Well, thank you for bringing it along.
Thank you very much. There you go, yeah. We're criticising the Chinese, but of course we have British Leyland and different things like that. Their switches weren't so good either.
No, that's right. No, we've all seen
right, now this is, actually for me, you don't usually see, or I don't not regularly see, a sunbeam talbot in black. They tend to have always been more two-tone than I've always seen. Perhaps I've got that wrong, but this gentleman will tell us about it.
Good morning, good afternoon, how are we doing?
Fine.
Very good. Can you tell me a bit about your car?
I had it a couple of years.
Right, okay.
Done just odds and tuning up.
Just done bits and bobs to it? Yeah. Did you get used much?
No.
Different shows only?
It does only 21 miles a gallon. It's a bit expensive, especially at the just at the moment.
Right, I bet. Yeah. And I noticed here as well, like some like the old Rovers, where the back door opens outwards.
Yeah.
Which these doors are the death doors?
Yes, that's right. Suicide doors.
Suicide doors, that's right, yeah.
Yes. Generally, almost original sort of finish on it.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to.
So you're leaving it as like a regional passenger?
That's it. Yes.
I don't blame you. No, that's right. It's a restoration or complete restoration, not for everybody, is it?
That's it, yes. It goes very well.
I bet. So what engine's in this?
2.4.
2.4. 4 cylinder?
4 cylinder.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And is it like Sunbeam's own engine?
It's the old Humber, yes.
Oh, the old Humber, right.
Humber engine in it. It's 4-speed box, which is slightly different.
Yeah. And obviously something like this is tax-free, MOT-free?
Tax-free, that's right, MOT. I've had it MOT since I've had it, just to make sure that...
just to keep me up, right?
But in fact, when I bought it, it has been MOT'd every year since, sort of, I got all the certificates from...
Right.
1990. That's right, 1990.
Yeah.
And it's only done a couple of miles between each one. So
between each one, like there.
Only just run it up and down to the MOT station for 20 years or so.
That's it, that's it.
And it's
Oh,
only
great.
done 46,000 miles since.
There's nothing to do. 46.
I've got all the paperwork that would suggest that it
Brilliant.
is correct.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for bringing it down.
Thank you very much. Yes, and there, ladies and gentlemen, it's surprising when you come to these things and people say, you can probably tell I've always been a busy guy. The death door, apparently when I was about 5 or 6, we were down in mid Wales with some family, and David was asleep against the door, and my mother caught me as I was going through the door as the door opened as we went round the corner, and they hung on to me. And that was why they were called the death door, because it was so easy to fall out if you're a rear passenger. So yes, you brought a memory back. I didn't remember anything about it, but yes, you brought a memory back. Thank you. Right, a modern day classic, I suppose, the MG Bernie.
It looks in good condition, doesn't it?
Yeah, with the spoked wheels and all the chrome
Bit of
work.
restoration gone on here, I think.
Yes, it has. I haven't had the car long, but I do know they've been totally restored. New body.
Yeah.
It's been 9,500 miles since then.
Since full restoration.
Since full restoration, yeah.
I love the wire wheels.
Yeah,
Have you had them re-chromed?
No, they are. I haven't actually touched the car before, so
Right, okay. So all the chrome work that we see here is all original?
most of it's original.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a position in their car for me.
Is it? Fantastic. And to be honest, sort of they've been sat in the garage and it's not a good thing all the time, is it?
No, they do benefit.
They do need to be used.
So,
Yeah.
But they're quite reliable.
Yeah, so where have you come from today?
From Sheffield.
From Sheffield. Right, okay, yeah. Brilliant. What engine's in this one?
This is an 1800 to an SU carburetor.
Okay.
4-speed gearbox and no drive on second, third and top. So people can operate.
Like obviously when the sun's out, top down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And a nice
They
day
have
out.
to have permission of the wall.
Permission of the lady right, I don't blame you. Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing it down. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a rare occurrence. The sun's coming out. We were frozen yesterday, I tell you. I mean, Bernie did have shorts on. He stuck out today.
I have looked out today, yeah.
There we go. Right, and straight away here, I can see presumably a cable that's going to the brakes on this one. Perhaps the gentleman will tell us a little about it and about the braking system on it.
It's 1937 7 Pearl. It is cable brakes. 750 side valve engine, 4-speed box, synchro on top 3, 5 weeks.
Right, you've had it 5 weeks, and what about stopping with cable brakes? Is it an experience?
Got to think beforehand.
I bet you do.
Plan when you're going to start.
I bet you do. So you have to give yourself that sort of 200 yards
You've got to
thinking.
think well ahead.
I bet you do, yeah. So how long have you had it now?
I've had it about 5 weeks. The previous owner restored it in 1985. They did the
Right. And they've done a good job.
He's a club member. He's had
Is it?
to finish. He's in his 90s now.
Yeah.
So I've taken it over to.
It's a credit to him, isn't it?
Just
You know, to restore it nearly 40 odd years ago and still not like this now.
Still good,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I'm hoping to keep it going as long as I
I
can.
bet, yeah. I bet you're doing a very good job.
Very much, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, yeah, and it's a pleasure to see something of this age in this condition too, you know what I mean? Even on the running boards here, they've taken the trouble to put a motif of some description. And of course the other thing is the starting handle, and it's a long time since on the farm we'd start something with a starting handle, and I can remember people sometimes having to go to hospital because they hadn't engaged it properly in the crank and it had thrown them several yards away.
Kick back and either bent thumbs or broken wrists.
Yes, yeah.
Some of the stronger diesel engines.
No, that's it. And as kids, of course, we always wanted to do what the adults do, and they used to say, well, you get away from it. Everybody wanted to have a go, so they used to put the starting handle up high to stop us. But they hadn't legislated for the fact that David was already 5 foot up by the time he was 10, so we got around that one too.
Thank you for bringing it.
Right. Our Wolsey, something I was saying about a Wolsey yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, just again a little bit of how everybody likes a little bit of uniqueness. That the Wolsey here on the front has an illuminated light, just something a little bit different to that brand that they had, and the gentleman tells me it works. And again, our AA membership, there's a lot of the old AA badges, and next door on the popular as well, isn't it?
The chrome on it, fantastic.
Absolutely is, yeah. It's a beautiful vehicle.
How long have you had it?
12 months now, but it's never been restored.
This is as in condition.
Yeah, it's a one-owner car. It was featured in the National magazine. They voted it one of their 5 favourites. We've had it 12 months and we're just looking after it. We haven't really had to do anything to it.
Right. I noticed on the back seat you've got like a nice picnic set. Would that be part of the car? Was it bought with the car? Or
No, I already had that.
Addition?
Yeah, I had it before.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's never been welded, it's never been painted.
Has it? No.
No, the chrome.
What mileage has it done?
95,000.
Has it?
From new, yeah. It was kept in a heated garage, so the chrome's original, the upholster's original.
So nearly 100,000, and it's still like Concours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite good.
It really is, very, very nice indeed. Thanks for bringing it down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And in total contrast, we spoke to these people yesterday. The Ford Popular here, if you watch on the TV, the heartbeat, you see the police in that. And the gentleman here was saying about this model that he's kept it exactly as it is. So he doesn't have restoration work. He wants it to be shown in its working clothes with the wear and tear, and you can see the difference in some of the wings, but that has an equal attraction to this one. And it's a matter of choice, isn't it, Bernie?
Of course it is, yeah. It's each to the road at the end of the day, and the most important thing, it's been saved and it's on the road.
Yeah, and it's 1962, so there you go, it's 60 years old with a 1056cc engine, and well, it says they're prepared to take it anywhere on the road. It's that reliable, so it's nice to see something of that age able to compete, isn't it?
Thank you for bringing it along. Thank you. And we have a clan.
A clan, yes, yeah.
How are we doing? Good afternoon, are you okay? Very good. What can you tell us about your clan?
Well, there's only 26 ever made. It started off with the Clan Crusader, which went into liquidation. They took over production in Northern Ireland in 1985. They made the helmet engine Crusaders for 2 years, and they got into making these. They were asking too much for them at the time, and they got their own sorts.
Right, so they're built in Northern Ireland?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And how many were made?
26.
26 were made. So how many are left?
Well, I'm in an owners club, believe it or not, and they know of 18. There's not 18 on the road, but they know of 18. This is chassis number 1026.
Right, okay. What age is this?
It's since 1985. 37 years old.
Okay, so if
it's not as old as some of these cars.
No, it'd be coming for tax free, does it go on?
fingers crossed.
Yeah, in a few years.
Fingers crossed, yes, we can afford tax.
If we can afford tax, yeah, or if we can afford the tax to put, yeah.
Twice around the arena was too much for me. I was going to say, do you know how much petrol is these days?
So is there any common parts on this, like any of the other vehicles here today?
No,
Or is it all unique?
Yes, it's the Alfa Romeo platform boxer engine.
Right.
It's a sprint engine, it's got twin cylinder carburetors, 105 brake horse, not 60 in 6.2 seconds. It's economical because it's 20 nothing, there's no weight to it, to be honest.
And as I can see now, the engine is the rear.
Mid-engine, yeah.
Mid-engine, yeah.
Or as some people say, it's handy if you break down, you've got a spare in the boot.
I'm not going to comment. No, I'm not going to comment.
And I've had it 27 years, I've had it. I have got a Crusader as well.
Have you? Right, okay.
Which I've had for 47 years.
So again, finding bits for this, hard to mold.
Yeah.
Body pound, whatever.
I don't think you'd be able to get them, to be honest with you.
Is it fiberglass? All
All
fiberglass,
glass,
yeah.
monocross shell, there's no way.
You probably get not remolded, couldn't you, or made, or
more than likely,
yeah.
It's probably such a shell. What does it cost? I don't know. There's no metal underneath. It's a monocross shell.
Right, okay.
So there's no metal underneath, so no rust.
And I know you support the club every year by bringing your one of your two cars down.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully, time coming as well.
Thanks ever so much. Thank you.
Thank you, and we're lucky, ladies and gentlemen, that for a small club, that we get such special examples, isn't it? You know, you expect something of those numbers at the bigger shows, but the fact that we get supported is much appreciated that you bring these vehicles. Thank you very much.
I've got some great cars, or great exhibits down here this year.
Yes, yeah.
And unique stuff as well.
Yeah, and again, strangely enough, now we've got Wolsey on the twofold, and I've never seen that before, where I've said about the light and then the bonnet. I don't know if you've noticed, Bernie, it's got Wolsey wings on it. I've never seen one with the motif on the bonnet before.
I'd imagine Rich is going to tell us why. Afternoon, Richard.
I did light up the badge for you, but you didn't notice it.
It was the glare of
It
the
has
sun.
to go dark first, yeah. Bernie said the glare of the sun.
The glare of the sun. 1963 Wolseley 1500. Local car, sold new by Victoria Garage in Midchurch. Superb provenance. Virtual with David's life. All the bills, original bill of sale, you name it, and I've got all the information on the car. It is a.
But I know as Richard is
with such good provenance.
I know Richard is a club member, and I know history of this car. He has done Land's End to John O'Groats a few times.
I've done Land's End to John O'Groats. I've done coast to coast. I've done a tour of Wales.
And also in a lot of charity work as well.
Yeah, raised 7,500.
Yeah, fun, excellent. Yeah, brilliant. In this car.
In this car.
Yeah, that's right.
When I've done it to cars being in livery, you've probably noticed that.
Yeah, that's right. I hope you.
Different livery on it, but
yeah.
I've run out of ideas now, really.
I'll find you some more.
It's got to be something that's doable, yeah.
So the wings on the front on this one, is it quite unique? Is it rarity?
No, most Wolseys up to these had that.
Up to the right, okay.
Yeah, they had those wings on the front. They did away with them. Basically when these finished, I think.
Right. Okay.
Started to get mad famous.
Right. Okay.
Danger to pedestrians.
There we are. Thank you so much, Richard.
Presumably the newest thing on this is the etching of the registration on the glass.
That was done an awful long time ago, yeah. Yeah, and I think the guy who did it actually has attended this show on occasions. He's got a very nice Singer Gazelle. And he used to do that, he used to go around the houses and do it. And that was before Michael was with the original owner at the time.
Really, and that was quite forward thinking, because I mean, having the registration etched on the glass has been more in our yeah. Right, well, we've got a big yank. We'll see what he can tell us about this. Well, it certainly wouldn't manage down the lanes round my house. I don't know about you, Bernie.
Afternoon. Can you tell me a bit about it, please?
Yeah, it's a 1964 Buick.
Buick, right, yeah.
It's got a 4 or 5 power
Right, V8?
V8.
It is, yeah. Yeah, automatic. Yeah, how long have you owned it?
No, it's not automatic.
It's not automatic manual?
Yeah, it would have come out the factory with, actually it's got an older V8 engine, so it would have come out the factory with, I think what's called a Naylor engine, it's Naylor, but it's the guy before me converted it to an older V455, it just about fits in there.
Right,
inside,
right.
and you've got the manual.
It's nice, it really is. Is this, have you got more than one, or is this the love of your life? Apart from their life?
Oh, that's very classic.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, that's nice, it really is. Thank you for bringing it down. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of our exhibitors, they have more than one. By God, it's a wide car, isn't it? Right. Yesterday we had a word with this gentleman. He's had the vehicle all his life, and it was a lovely experience to hear how he's cared for it, and low mileage, and absolutely tremendous again to see it here on the field today.
Nice Morris 8 there as well, Dave.
Pardon?
So it's a nice Morris 8 there.
Yes, yeah, very nice indeed, yeah.
Thank you for bringing us along.
1937, so it's aging along. Mitsubishi, here we go, we better the Japanese come into the equation.
Afternoon. How are we doing, okay?
Good, thank you, good.
Tell me a bit about it, please.
1979 Colt Sapporo, one of only 6 left in the UK now. Very hard to get anything.
I bet, yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, that's right.
It's sort of groundbreaking when it come out really each year. Disc brakes all round, literally everything on these cars was like better than anything that was at the time.
But that's a lot of the Japanese stuff was, wasn't it? You know, it was really is luxury.
I think the import duties made them so expensive, and they weren't so big.
No, I bet. That's right. Yeah. How long have you owned it?
I've had it 20. Well, I haven't. I've had it 29 years.
Wow.
So ever since I was 17.
Good God.
It's been rebuilt a couple of times, obviously, because it's been used.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me now.
I bet it does, yeah. That's it. Been through thick and thin. Yeah. Thanks for bringing it down. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I think, was it the Colt Stallion Turbo was they replaced it, and I think they had rot issues, didn't they, and different things, didn't they? Yeah, I can remember nearly part Xing one of those in a car deal, but it was the back end that let him down, and he didn't know until I told him. Right, dare we ask how much it's going to do to the gallon, Bernie? 6, 8?
Nice Rolls Royce. Can you tell me a bit about it?
16 to the gallon on the run, around town 10, 12.
Is it? Yeah.
But we don't go out that.
Well, no, the price of fuel, that's right. But it's a luxury car. How long have you had it?
The last year we had some work on it, timed it up, and quite happy with the finish.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Have you had to do a lot to it?
No, not really. We had the original tyres done. And a bit of the wood trims on the doors because they suffered some damage.
Right, okay. I know a chap who owned one of these. I've MOT'd one of these for a few years, and underneath they're built like a tank, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
absolutely solid. And weight in it as well.
Yeah.
So does this one have like sheepskin ropes in it, or?
Oh yes.
It does, yeah.
That's why she's in there, warming her feet.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. No, so again, it's a modern classic, isn't it?
Yeah, 30 years old.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, we're pleased with it. We like the colour.
I bet it is. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Have you had any sort of body restoration work on it? Or?
No, there's just a little bit on that.
Right, okay. Other than that, it's quite original.
Yeah, all original, yeah.
Thank you for bringing it along. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. And there, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman making me smile, saying he doesn't use it that often. I've got a 2-litre Mark II Transit with a Pinto in it. I get 16 to the gallon and I use it regular. But people would say, oh, well, a Rolls Royce, oh, old tranny van, oh, don't worry. Isn't it? Our perception of things. Right, what have we got here? This is another Austin, and it's I mean, we haven't organised this. It's a pity we didn't pop the bonnet on this one. When you look at the size of the power unit in this, to the 6.5 litre, yeah, that'll fill it to this one here. I mean,
the engine on this one, you could take it and put it in your pocket, couldn't you? Really?
You could, and of course power to weight ratio as well. I mean, you haven't got to move as much forward with this, have you? You know, and I mean everything is all about getting the wheels rolling. Once you get the wheels rolling, it's then it's just about a case of how fast you want to go, isn't it?
I've seen you. Obviously, you live in Mold, so you're in Mold, and it's come from the Cheddar Gorge Museum.
Yeah,
Museum.
My grandfather owned the museum, and he had 50, 60, 70 cars.
Oh, so it was his museum down the Cheddar Gorge, and you basically saved this car there?
No. He bought it for my mother.
Right, okay.
He sold her car out from underneath it.
Right.
He bought this one for her when she was 21.
Right.
And it just stayed in the family all the years.
Right, okay.
And now I've got it. My mum gave it to me. Now, when Eddie's 21, she gets it.
That's fantastic. Brilliant.
So she's been in the family since 2 years.
Yeah, nice bit of family history, isn't it? And heritage as well.
So it's amazing.
You're going to look forward to owning this? You are, yeah. So what are you going to do with this? Are you going to show it, or you're going to show it, yeah? So I'm guessing possibly on your sort of lucky wedding day, might use this for the bride?
No.
Absolutely.
Are you proposing, Bernie?
Well, you know, I thought my luck was in then, but no, perhaps not, you know. She's only a Mold, I'm in Kite, so you know, not far down the road.
Oh well, let's hope Di's not listening. There you go. Yeah,
bring it along. Thank you.
The important thing again here, and it's nice, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, with respect to this young lady, as you can see, the majority of us, we're well past 21, so it's nice to see somebody younger coming in to hopefully carry these things forward, because that's the thing, we need to get younger people engaged in these things so that we can hopefully maintain them for others, because I think it'll have a place in history.
There's just not enough young people coming through taking the interest in the older cars.
No.
We're always looking for new membership.
Yes,
young members.
And what is it? Is it once a month meetings?
Once a month for a meeting, the Sign Miners Welfare, and the annual membership is £20.
There you go.
That's family, that's it.
That's for a family. And it's not the same vehicle every month, you know what I mean? And don't worry if you've got no knowledge. Come to the meetings, build your knowledge. You don't even have to build your knowledge. Just come and be part of it, you'll be most welcome.
It's family friendly.
There you go. Right, what have we got here now then? And as you can see, all car manufacturers, it's always happened throughout history. This, again, we haven't planned it, but this is absolutely a replica to a point of our Wolsey at the end, but it is the Wolsey.
Afternoon, sir. Can you tell me a bit about your car, please?
It's a Riley 472, which is one of the last, this body shape that they built. The Riley was the last one to be finished. This is within the last 100 of the chassis numbers of when they finished.
Right, okay.
In 68. It's basically the same running gear as, you know, Oxford and Cambridge and whatever. Like this, it's got the leather seats and the walnut dash and the twin carburetors, and you know, it's just like a.
So just looking around it now, obviously it looks all in sort of fairly original condition, but look at the wheels. Are they new wheels? Have you had them restored?
They are new wheels and not original wheels.
Right.
I've cheated a little bit.
Right, okay.
Unfortunately, all these Austin Cambridge, Oxford, MG Magnet, the Riley, they all have the same differential of 4.3.
Right.
Which they was made to do like 40 miles an hour in those sort of days, which is a bit low geared. And it has got an MGB engine in it, it's an 1800 instead of a 1622, which seemed to be revving for no reason. So I've gone to 15-inch wheels to get the bigger tyres on, to make it a bit quicker.
To gear it up.
I've also got a different differential in there. It's a differential made in Italy, which was made for the very early MGBs when they used to use the Morg axle. So that's a 3.9 instead of a 4.3. So everything I've done to alter it is bolt on. So
Right.
it can all go
So you go back to original of these.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
engine I didn't do, but there again, it's a straight bolting job.
So the little tweaks you've done really, it's made it better to keep up to the modern day speed on the road.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Well, I can now, 55,000, well, 55 miles an hour, I'm doing like 3,000.
Yeah, so you're happy on the road.
It's nice,
That's right.
Instead of
Yeah.
screaming set up, so you're not in the way. As I say, it's got servo brakes put on it, which makes the brakes
So a lot better.
efficient,
Yeah, that's
whatever.
right.
So it's
Right.
all bolt on that can come on.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for bringing it down. Thanks ever so much. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah, very interesting then. So
There's one car we haven't done because he wasn't in the ring at the time. Which was,
he was hiding,
Paul
was he,
Williams.
Bernie? Yeah.
Remember? Good afternoon, Paul. How are we doing? Okay? Yeah, very good. So, Paul, how long have we had this?
I bought it 2 years ago from Matheson's auction.
Right, okay.
It's an Austin A35.
So you just tell what Matheson's auction is. It's famous on television, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on TV for bangers and cash.
Bangers and cash. So did you buy it online or did you go to the auction and bought it on the day?
We went and viewed it first and then bought it online.
Right, okay.
And it's an Austin A35 Academy race car. Academy is a race series where all cars are more or less the same.
Right.
It's down to the driver rather than the car itself.
Okay. So what have you done to it?
Very little.
Right, so as you see it is now, it's in pretty well much standard livery.
It is, yeah. The only thing I've really done is put road tyres on it just to make it road legal.
Right.
And that's about it, really.
Right, fine. So if you'd like to step out, please, because every year, ladies and gentlemen, we always nominate a club member to have the perpetual trophy. And I think this year, I think Paul deserves it for Club Car of the Year. So I'd like Mr. Kelly, if you could hand the cup over to Paul, that'd be great. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Paul Williams.
Just try again, Neil. This trophy goes to Paul Williams for the car he's brought this year. He's got a right good collection of cars, and strangely enough, last time this trophy was given out, it was won by his brother Neil for an RS2000. So this cup's been going a fair number of years since the club started, and we just thought this car is worthy of the cup for this year. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks very much, Paul, for bringing it along. Thank you. Thank you, drivers. Didn't mean to run you over. If we can have the Elvis out first, do one lap of the ring, and then we'll send you out to the top corner there. Thanks ever so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, our appreciation to all our exhibitors, and certainly our appreciation to the people outside who brought their vehicles, although they haven't come into the arena.
Right, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen as well, we have a dog show at 2 o'clock. But the ladies are now taking entries in. I think there's 12 different classes. So if you come to the left of the ring here, by the food stalls, the ladies there taking entries. I think we've got about a dozen sections for the dog show at 2 o'clock.
Yep, and next into the arena will be the heavy horses. So stewards with the horses, can we have them brought up to the corner, please? Hold station until the cars leave. Stewards for the horses, yeah? Bring them up.
See you in a minute. interesting chat, bit of a long one. You might want to skip through to the
okay, ladies and gentlemen, also on the
beginning if you missed
section,
anything.
we've got the craft section behind us in the wood shed, then we've got the bar, then the far end we've got the model section. At the end of the model section we have a club shop where members have brought items along for sale. So if you haven't got down that far before, go down to the far end of the models, once you're around the models, go and browse around the club shop. There's various items which members have brought along, and I think the big discounted prices.
It is a 64, what a guess.
3 o'clock. Thank you.
The back lights to give it away. Model, so I think was that different trim.
Here we go, so one last look at them, ladies and gentlemen, as they go past.
Look at the size of that old girl.
A little anecdote for not this Austin, but the club member there with the what was used to be known as a baby Austin. And apparently there was a gentleman who lived near me. He was about 5'2", and he had a rather rotund belly, and he was never ever called by his name. They always used to call him Austin because he was short, fat and round, like the baby Austin. And it stuck with him till the day he died. There we go. A nice colour, that. There we are, and he's going to do all the work on that. You can probably see that the wings and the sills under the doors always went very bad on one of those.
Do you have about afterwards?
And a modern one there, I mean, must have been an achievement to win at the Vauxhall show, to be placed in the top 5. Yeah, the Subaru, yeah, we used to see a lot of Subarus on the road, but not as much. The Volvo 1600, not so many of those. And Gordon there with his MG. So of course, in the same family as the little MG over there, just shows you how fashions change. Modern day classic, I suppose you would say, the Triumph Stag. Sunbeam Talbot was very often in the Monte Carlo Rally. Originally, I believe, driven by Sterling Moss and his wife in years gone by.
Thank you, Carl, for your display. We have the heavy horses coming on next. Just clear the ring of the cars.
There we go, I tell you. This is quite comical. You expect the clown to get out of this one with this big Rolls Royce behind it, isn't it, you know? Not the easiest of cars to drive either. There we go, a lovely story there, a young lad. Had it since he was 17, so it's lovely to see. I think the car I had was, when I was 17, it had to go to a scrapyard. I decided there wasn't enough gates in the hedge around us. Our Ford Capri, of course, yeah, very well known, iconic car. Somebody who's recently died, one of our TV stars, Dennis Waterman. Of course, when he was with Arthur Daly in Minder, he had a Capri, and I think on New Tricks he drove a Triumph Stag. Our Wolsey with all the badges, thank you very much. And yeah, no mean achievement, raising money for charity. So this one of only 18 left in the country. So a little bit of history there. I can remember somebody having one of those too. We didn't want one of those chasing you, as we said. That was the car of the police. And this one too was very much a police car in its time, but in lovely condition. So thank you very much, and we'll bring the horses in next, hopefully. Okay, yes, stewards, bring them in and they're to come round left. Okay, so come left rather than right when you come in. Yesterday I had them coming round right and one of the horses didn't want to go, and I said, oh, typical female, because she was a mare, and the gentleman told me this morning, he said, it's not that day, he said, when we come to Oswestry Show, we always go to the left, and the horses remember. So there you go, you see.
Yeah, and head out to the top left-hand corner, please. Yes, please. You're having to look at it quite closely. We'll start with a little PMC. You'll leave it to the first on the back of the nose. Can you get the steamers right up, please? Straight with the steamers. Let's get it rolling. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you for our activities.
Yeah, certainly is a lot going on here. I think this vehicle's from Judge Dredd. Tractors are heading out now. Minneapolis Moline. Pulling a David Brown DB, Aston Martin DB David Brown. Massey Harris, I've heard of Massey Ferguson.
Thank you, tractors. We have steamers coming in next.
In a minute they're going to bring in the big old steam wagons.
I'd like to thank you all for coming down today and supporting the club, supporting the show. Nice to see you all.
It's just constant all day, something else coming in. Bikes, tractors, cars, all sorts, you know. The big old steam engines are going to be coming in a second. My only concern is that it's getting a bit chilly and some of the cars might leave soon, and I haven't got them all yet, so let's have a quick nose at these Riley RM.
Now.
1.5 engine in these, I think, and I think, don't quote me, but I think, didn't these have an ash frame or something? Or wooden frame of some kind? It was something along those lines. Beautiful cars though, aren't they? Riley RMs are gorgeous. Morris 10.4. It's quite a big one really, when you consider this little titchy Austin here. And there you can see the difference, because there's an American there.
As you've seen this morning, we've had the Shire horses through, and then obviously they would have the steamers and the Shires
So
would work side by side.
there's your American car.
I suppose when the steamers got working, there were still Shires on.
And there's your little titchy British one.
Which used to work the land.
And that one's only a two-seater. Crikey! I wonder what the four-seaters were like.
So you would see the three main agricultural
It's only a two-seater, that one.
working machines. The Shires, the tractors we've just seen, and now the steamers. Obviously a lot of heavy haulage. Obviously they did used to work the land to an extent where they used to do dry thrashing machines, ploughs, haulage as in you see like a lot of road haulage back into like the 1910, 1920s. So all these have been preserved over the years. Becomes like the mid-50s. Most of them were scrapped, a lot of the rollers were scrapped. But now they are a very magnificent collectible piece. We'll line up again like we did yesterday. We'll have the long tractors at the back, we'll have the middle, half-size ones in the middle, and we'll have the miniatures along the front. The long tractors.
Funnily, this Ford Fairlane right-hand drive, built in Canada and shipped to the UK in 1964 for a US airman who was working over here, operating over here. Well, my dad had a Galaxy 500 1963, and it was a right-hand drive, and it was shipped over to the UK for a US airman, it was working in the UK, so it's a familiar tale, that.
And a very slow turning circle as well with this one, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, rollers on it, or the wheels on it.
Look at this beauty.
This is obviously for road work, i.e. laying new roads. Something that we
this is
well,
just
I
gorgeous.
Yesterday, the smaller ones, I mean, I always knew that they were half scale, 1/10 scale, things like that. I thought they were originally from the period, and you'll see when they come onto the arena, a lot of these smaller ones apparently have been purchased in the last 10 years. You can go and buy one today, and you can buy them in kit form, and anything from about £10,000 to £20,000 from a firm in Coventry. So we never stopped learning. There was me thinking it was something that was 100 years old, and the guy said to me, "Oh no, this was new in 2019."
Let's have a quick look at these.
We have no movement off the showground until 4:30. No exhibitor movement until 4:30, please. Thank you.
I won't go too in depth with these because we filmed these in Llandudno not that long ago, so let's have a quick nose.
Okay, the smaller ones and the medium ones, as we did yesterday, we're going to line you all up in front of the grandstand. So there's no need to take a circuit of the arena, just come and line up for us. Get plenty of coal on the fire so we can have a warm. There you go, yeah, they've all got very special hooters on them. As you can see with this one now coming in, it's chain steer, so it's on a corkscrew. So in order to turn left or right, you wind the chain on. So the steering mechanism is here, up to a rod, and the steering wheel there. So very simple system actually. Yeah, there you go. There we are. You see him without a brake. There's a way of stopping it rather quickly. I'm looking on the front, paraffin lamp possibly, is it for the lights? Yeah, paraffin on that, yeah. Yeah. I've been told I keep a lot of junk. It doesn't surprise you to know I've got one of them in the shed as well, I think, somewhere. Never throw it out, lad. You'll never know when you'll need it. And it's amazing what we've got in these sheds, whether people will be as interested. Interestingly here, I would imagine if on this one while they're lining up, this plate here, if it had been on a tarmac road, that would have been for cleaning the wheels, yeah. And as you can see, the best way of stopping it moving on is putting a chuck at the back of it. You can't really put your toe behind this one and hope it doesn't roll backwards, can you? Once it happened, yeah. So what you're saying is you've learned that the hard way, yeah. Right, well here they all come. Oh yeah, we've got quite a few small ones coming in. One with a technical problem. Probably haven't got enough water. And when these were used by contractors for farming, well, you literally lived in it. It was your home. As you may have seen in some of the old films or whatever, they would sleep underneath them. Especially on a cold night, you'd retain a lot of heat in the boiler.
Bring some of the little steamers up the middle here, please. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've got full size, half size, and got some miniatures.
Yeah. Just improving the knowledge back here and saying about the boiler, but I'm sure a lot of you know, ladies and gentlemen, it's surprising how many people don't realise that the steam trains that obviously are going on strike tomorrow, but the steam trains in the UK are totally different from the ones in America, and it's a very simple thing. People don't realise how different they are. In this country, we're a small country. We use coal because we didn't need much to get from Manchester to Birmingham. So the tender behind was small. In America, all the steam trains, they run on lumber, on timber. Because obviously, if they had a problem, and you've seen it on the films, they'd get off and they'd get some. But I mean, they were travelling a lot longer distance. But the principle of the steam engine was all the same. Right, we're going to start with this big boy here. And this gentleman has just told me something very interesting. So whilst we've got a lot of catering facilities out there on site, I said to him about the boiler, and I was saying, could you tell me a little bit about the boiler? And then he went on to tell me what's in the front there, ready for later on.
Jacket potatoes.
There you go. So he's already, as I said to you, they lived in them. They were their homes originally, not this gentleman, but when they were a working machine. So there you go, you got an inbuilt oven. So I was saying about the steam, and I was asking him about it. I said, it's not just a boiler, is it? There's tubes. And he said, yeah, there is. And I'll let him tell you how they generate the steam, because that's something a little bit different again.
First of all, you have to light the fire, right? So the heat goes up the tubes, heating the water on the outside, and then once the engine is running, the exhaust will create a draft up the chimney, and it will draw the fire. And you've got an ash fan where you've got a damper on there to regulate the airflow. And that's basic principle. You've got to keep the water level correct, and your fire going, and you just control it, and that's all there is to it.
And how much energy or coal would they have consumed in a normal working day, something of this size?
You probably get about, I don't know, 500 weight of coal a day, something like that. It all depends on the type of coal, because some burns better than others. Your steam coal you use less and get more heat out of it. Your normal house coal goes straight up the chimney and makes a mess. But it doesn't last as long.
So the steam coal's slow burning?
It's slow burning, but it opens up like a mushroom. Yes, yeah, and you get it stays there for a long time.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The house coal basically
It'll just burn straight away.
Yeah, right, okay.
A lot of heat instantly, but you have to keep
but
feeding.
After that,
you probably
keep the fire light.
You'd use twice as much basically.
Right, yeah, okay. And from what I know, after ordering coal in for this event, the quality of coal now not as good as it used to be?
It's not very good nowadays.
No, no. And hard to get hold of?
Sorry?
Is it hard to get hold of?
It is now because they've closed the mine. There's a mine in Wales somewhere.
Right.
An open cast mine. And I don't know whether they've closed it or it's restricted sales.
So it's limited the supply of
the rally.
coal.
The rally people can't get the coal anymore.
No, that's right.
And the heritage railways are struggling as well.
Right, okay, okay. So again, it's a problem, isn't it?
It is a problem. And also they want to ban it, don't they?
They do want to ban it?
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder now, is the government having a bit of a say in this?
Maybe.
You don't know, do we?
Well, we never know anything, do we?
That's right.
Don't bring politics into it, Bernie. Don't bring politics. What's interesting, I didn't realise, and thank you for teaching me, I thought it was my coal, yeah, I've still got a coal fire, and it comes from Colombia. It's imported into Liverpool, and he brings it to my house from there. It's damn good coal, but I didn't realise that you couldn't use, it's got to be a special
Anybody where you live, because I'll come and pinch your coal.
I'll give you the name of my coal merchant. He's a good lad, actually. Right, thanks very much. Right, Bernie.
We'll come down and see this young lady here.
Right, so there's a little bit of info on the
Are we doing
steam
okay?
engines for you.
Very good. And I see this is called smoky. On the back of your top's called smoky.
Yeah, yeah.
So why is it called smoky? Because it smokes?
It will make sense, doesn't it?
It was, yeah, that's right. But that's why they make it up.
Right, okay.
It's not this, well, don't worry, but...
This vehicle was used in Judge Dredd.
Yeah, it's obviously for towing.
In 1995 movie, Sylvester Stallone set in the year 2139. Well, we know the movie and that, I think it was a bit, wasn't it a bit of a flop?
How we doing, all right?
I don't want to diss Sylvester like, but I'm not sure if it was that well received, but it's a funky looking thing.
There's a catalogue, right, okay? So did you buy it with it as a flatbed?
Look at it inside, what the heck's going on there?
So you put the flatbed on the back, and they made by the Walsh Brothers. Right, okay. So the thing right, okay.
Imagine driving this.
Is it something you've always wanted?
You can't see through the windscreen when you sit there and drive.
Right, okay.
Can you now?
You can't. No.
No.
That's why he's put cameras on the front. And
You
he's got
can't
the
see.
screen because you can't see it. Through the
Flipping
screen.
hell. It's a funny looking thing, isn't it?
It's from the film.
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
City cab. Yeah, play.
Yeah, it's based on a Land Rover 101 4-wheel control.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On here somewhere.
Isn't that the one with the big thing on the front?
Yeah. It's quite high up as well.
Yeah.
That
Look
one
at
there.
that.
It's got a rag top.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
That's what the chassis is based on. Because it's all Land Rover inside.
Yeah. How safe. Can you imagine driving this? They look so agricultural, doesn't it? Inside, like. God, grief.
Bought it from an auction on
Tell me, I'm just
film
wondering
set
now, is
auction.
there anybody following
Oh,
on
flipping
if these two guys are 70?
He's got a
Is there
motorbike
any-
combination
anybody in
from
their business
Lovejoy.
who are going to be able to
I see.
The actual
follow on
motorbike and
because
cycle.
we all
Yeah.
have to go at some point.
From
Yeah.
Lovejoy.
From Lovejoy, yeah.
So unfortunately, again, another trade
Hey, thanks very
where we
much.
haven't got somebody
See you
coming
now.
on.
There you go, it's a little bit of
And
info.
this tends to be a bit of a...
It's a bit of a trend, isn't it? There's like a pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
Of all this, we've got no other restorers or people with the skills to take it off.
Yeah, yeah. What they show you on BBC One on the those programs. Again, a lot of those people are very old, aren't they? That do it. Yeah, yeah. It's a pity for perhaps losing their skill.
Thank you.
Right. Mark One Transit, the gentleman, he's owned that since new, and we very often have a chat about the transit, and he prefers
To show you briefly
as it is.
what
He
they're
doesn't want it
talking
in
about.
concourse condition, and used it in the building trade up to about 15-20 years ago. So
This is all the lorries, etc.
responsible for building half of
Can have a look at the old agricultural and military vehicles. A quick nose at these. Look at this. What the heck is that?
For those of you, I'm sure there's plenty of you that know, but possibly don't.
No, but it's electric.
You've got a drag at the back of the vehicle here, so you've got a trailer on the back. When you're actually trying to reverse that in, so you park the trailer and then you would nose it in with this bar here on the front.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I suppose also probably double up, you've got 3 mills, you're going to get 2 wagons together.
Yeah.
Link them up.
Yeah.
Pull them in,
Yes, that used to happen as well, didn't it? So let's see what it's in marvellous condition. I wonder whether the Walsh brothers have restored this one.
It really could say, I'm driving this around
I like these old Land Rovers.
Fantastic, hello George.
It's a bit of a later model, and then next to it's one of the earlier models. See the headlights are in the wings on that one, and they're not. They're in the middle on that one. Now that gentleman was saying that the Judge Dredd vehicle we just seen was based on Land Rover, and you can kind of tell that when you look, because a lot of these old Landies are very agricultural, you know, but it's based on one of these. So they've ripped one of these to bits and built that Judge Dredd monster.
How long have you had yours? Right, okay. And so what kind of work have you done to restore this? Everything?
US Army Jeep.
Right.
They were used in the Vietnam War and later in West Germany to counter the Russian Cold War threat. Well, we're getting back to that again now, aren't we, I think? They're going to get these out of retirement then. Look how basic they are. So basic. And do you know the beauty of that? Everything's so mechanical. You've actually got a chance of fixing it yourself, you know. You haven't got ECUs and all this palaver.
What about parts? Are they easy to maintain? Right, okay. Yeah. Good. You good here? Right, okay. Right, okay. Fantastic, yeah. Thank you very much for bringing them down. Thank you so much.
And presumably again to keep this authentic, it's sign written rather than any transfers.
Right, okay.
The county I live in over here in the UK, we have counties, not states, is Flintshire, and I'm fairly sure that that's the flag for Flintshire. It's not used a lot. You use the Welsh flag or the UK flag, but you don't see that one a great deal. But I think that is the Flintshire flag. I think. What's in this here? Is that a bazooka?
Beer bottle cases in the shed and never worried to keep them.
What the hecky thump is that?
Let them get into disrepair.
It says
originals and
UK military explosive 1.2E. How HE training? I don't know. I'm sure whatever they are, they're safe, but I've no idea what they are. That's a Mercedes G-Wagon, isn't it? I think an old one.
Is this your vehicle? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Have you restored it?
Astronomically expensive for some reason. Those things.
Absolutely brilliant. So how long have you had it?
Austin, is it a Champ? Not sure. I know Austin did do a big thing like this called a Champ. British Austin Type 4+4 Model K9. No.
Hopefully, yeah. But I can see at the back there, you guys all behind you. What's that for? Is that it is a bit like the old.
Now I think that one coming up now with its camouflage on is a Scammell. I think. Fairly sure it's a Scammell. Yeah, it is.
Looking at this Butler's picture, are they still in business or the local brewery? No, Butler's went over to Butler's. Right.
There was a I mean, I've probably said this story before, but there was a gentleman who had a car that was stuck in a back garden, but it was more like a field than a back garden, and the chap come down from the garage down the road in a Land Rover to pull it out from the garden, and the Land Rover got stuck in the garden too. Anyway, this fella had one of these down at the garage, so he goes down to the garage and he gets a load of chain and he chains up the Land Rover and the car and puts this in first and just pulls them both out instantly, both of them at the same time. That thing is mean. I mean, seriously mean. Some old American trucks, I think. Oh yeah, look, 4077 MASH. Hey, look, they've even got a little a surgery. How cool is that? Wow, that's amazing. I don't think you need quite that many forceps, but that is cool. So if you get wounded in Vietnam, they'll come sort you out in here. Some interesting tools in here. Is that the vent? God, grief. It's all like pneumatic. Wow. And you want to see the size of vents these days. I work with vents. That's tiny. Another little one chugging past. I'm no expert on these, I must admit, but I'm assuming this is the American military vehicles that the MASH type guys would be wandering about in. Oh yeah, look, this one's all set up as well. Fair play to them, they have put on a nice little show, haven't they? Put a lot of effort into this.
Yes, yeah.
It's cool.
That's right, yeah, you could steer them by that.
I'm surprised how small they look in the back, you know. But I suppose you could probably get 10 troops in there.
Just like a horse, yeah.
Sat side by side or whatever. Little generator there. Hey, I totally missed the gun. Have you seen the cannon? Have you seen the cannon? I have to get these guys to see the cannon. David, have you seen the cannon? Have you seen the cannon? Gotta show him this cannon. Look at this. That's cool, isn't it? Come through the shooting at. Another landy. So is this a lightweight landy? Again, I say I'm no expert. I think it is. You see there's quite a bit of metal missing from it. I think it's classed as a lightweight landy. And they chuck these out of parachutes or something. It's something crazy. Cool. It's this kind of thing. I don't know. It's kind of a British tradition. I mean, you've even got people displaying horticulture and garden machinery. So I'll just go over and show you. But there's people here who are displaying old rakes for the grounds or lawnmowers. See? Is that done in other countries? I don't know. It's not alien to me, this is kind of normal. You know, people come to these little shows and they show off their kit, and it's not unusual at all. But it may be if you're from, I don't know, New York or something. Perhaps it's not something you see on a daily basis. Oh, there's a little foldaway motorcycle. Look at the size of that thing. It's like a little miniature railway over there as well. Oh yeah, miniature train rides today. I'm like looking over here, totally missed this. There is a little bit of rain in the air. Oh, some bicycles. Come on, let's go and have a look at the bicycles. We've got to go in here. There's a Sinclair C5 in here. Oh my god, we've totally got to go in.
Because it is a delicate operation.
If you've never seen a Sinclair C5 before, you got to see one. These were an 80s-tastic idea. And there's a 70s-tastic idea, the chopper. If you're a 70s kid in the UK, you know what that is.
PTO, power takeoff.
You know you wanted one.
In the tractor, on the back of the tractor.
Then you got little penny farthings.
On the back of the tractor, there's a PTO here.
That's a child's penny farthing from the 1880s.
This one is a chain-driven one, and all of that means is it's just a way of converting the power.
This is the Sinclair C5.
Converting it through 90
Outstanding.
Degrees. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming down. I think we'll do Pete Griffiths to Leyland to finish off with. I know we spoke about the growler yesterday.
This one's Leyland beaver.
I mean, people joked about these things at the time, but when you think about it now, okay, perhaps designed maybe a bit differently, but they're actually quite a good idea because they are environmentally friendly. So Clive Sinclair was pretty much ahead of his game. Sinclair, I think, don't quote me, but I think he might have worked for Amstrad at some point, or Amstrad was a spin-off, or there's something like that. But Sinclair had his own computer business. I don't know the whole history around it. I'm sure someone out there will. And he released computers. There was a very popular computer he released called the ZX81, and then the 48K Spectrum, and then the +2 Spectrum. These are all Sinclair releases from early 80s. And the Spectrum 48K was the programmer's favourite, so quite a lot of the people who program stuff these days, who've been around for a long time, probably earn their trade on the Spectrum, typing up games. Here we go. It had a motor range of 20 miles, a maximum speed of 15 miles per hour, and the cost new was £399. Approximately 14,000 of them were made. You don't need a helmet, driving licence or road tax. And it was made by the Hoover Company, who make vacuum cleaners, Merthyr Tydfil, South Wales, and this one is still used on the road today. Still used today.
That's it, we're all the same, aren't we?
So they live for a while too.
It's always worth this much. When we're buying, oh no, it's only worth this much. Yeah.
There's a few guys putting things away now. I think the day is slowly just starting to draw to a close.
Size of the family, if you like, again, isn't it? You know, I mean, how a vehicle can draw you all together. As I say, it just seems, how can a bunch of men sort of get all involved over a lorry or something? But I mean, it's the friendship and the sharing of knowledge.
There's the back end of the lorries on the
carts and all those sorts of things
on the ground.
It makes a show. It makes a good show.
Cool. Okay, I just wandered over to the bikes because everyone's slowly starting to gear up to go home.
Lovely. I mean, as you can see, I mean,
So I want to
It's a tradition that's going to go through the family.
get a little bit of
There you
footage.
go. This tent is quite a high one off the ground too, isn't it?
Honda 125, like a little learner bike.
Transit, look forward to seeing you again, sir. And as you can see here, the ERS, I mean, it's in immaculate condition, isn't it?
Is that a matchless? Oh yeah, what a guess. A New Hudson, I don't recognise them. BSA.
BMC,
An Envoy.
British Motor Corporation
Ambassador.
again. Butlers, he looks a bit slow in first cock. Bit like
Lovely.
the old Bedford TK. First got your road with and you have to get it into second pretty quick. A real workhorse, this one, the big old Volvo. Did exactly what it said on the tin.
Triumph. Honda
There you go,
550.
this young lady, I was a proud. Bye bye.
That looks like something you'd expect the greasers to be on.
There you go, yeah.
Rocket 3, I'm sure that's got mad exhaust. Rocket 3, yeah, here we go.
And when he came back to this country, he decided he was going to go back to Germany and he bought one and brought it over here. And the big Scania, I mean, that's another big workhorse.
I don't know this one, the famous James. Excelsior. Villiers, I've heard of Villiers. Look at that chain.
Mark Taylor there. See him up and down the motorway, he goes to a lot of shows. Must cost him a fortune at about 8 to the gallon.
Amazing.
There we go, and a living accommodation there in the back, thank you very much. A good size there, as you can see. Oh, even got the rocker in the back there. And our little stock van. Only problem with that is the cab isn't separate, so if you're transporting animals and they decided to toilet, you have the full benefit of the smell in the car. Not to be recommended, but there you go, that's right.
Honda 70. Triumph Tiger.
Okay, military stewards, are we lining them up and getting them in? Land Rovers and military, let's be going.
Nortons. Manx Norton. I'm assuming that's a TT job.
Right, come on, Land Rovers and military stewards, let's get them rolling.
And there's a BSA Bantam again. And there's not much to that, is there? Very simple, a Kestrel. I'm not the most clued up with bikes, my dad was the biker. unfortunately, as he's now gone, I can't pick his brains. Here comes Judge Dredd in his Land Rover. Go on, have a listen to it.
There you go. Come on, guys, liven it up! Military, where's the military? Go on, lad. There you go. It's alright, it's only his petrol we're spending. That's tempting already. Yeah. We've got all angles, all military. Yeah, we've got something starting. Oh, yeah, military coming out.